So this emotional regulation story, how does that present in your day-to-day life? What does that typically look like? Or in your week by week? How does it go?
Very, very up and down, but also random.
Okay.
There's no trigger that I know of that I snap. It's like I could be the happiest person, and then it's like just this switch that flips over, and all of a sudden I'm angry, sad. I could even go to the point of saying I like just go into a full-on spiral depression. Like it's like a light switch. It's just different.
And that was diagnosed as bipolar, right?
Yes. When I think I was 13 when I was diagnosed with bipolar.
Okay. The thing that came up for me when I thought about what you said about the emotions going up and down and the diagnoses of ADHD and bipolar, the word that came up for me was judgment.
Oh, that's a big one.
Like society is judging your emotional state as wrong.
No, for sure.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yes.
That's what I mean about judgment. There is judgment attached to how you are.
Yes.
Because our emotional state is how we are. It's how we present. And the thing about emotions is that they are always honest.
Yeah.
Can you agree with that?
Yes.
I suppose one can pretend an emotion. It's possible, theoretically, because actors do it all the time. But real emotions that visit us, that, like you say, this moment it's this moment it's that, they're honest. It's an honest awareness of, I'm sad now, I'm extraordinarily happy now. But although emotions are honest, and that you are not guilty of your emotions. I saw that. Okay, let that sit for a second. We'll go there now. Okay. So I said, in the one hand, emotions are honest because they appear. And then I said, we are not guilty of our emotions. And then there was a reaction. But let's leave that for now, and we go, even though emotions are true, we said honest, now I'm saying emotions are true. Okay? They can have effects that are quite destructive. Because they can destroy relationships. Emotional roller coaster can destroy the potential for having solid relationships, for instance.
It just brought up a thing my dad always says.
Okay, what is that?
My dad just says a lot of the time, your emotions can be wrong. It's a short imbalance in the brain that causes an emotional reaction.
And he's saying that's wrong.
No, sometimes it can make us do the wrong things.
That's what I'm getting at. So that's exactly what I'm getting at. So this is very important that we distinguish these two things, and we say emotions per se are true. Okay? Yeah. But even though they're true, our emotions can create situations that are quite destructive for us. Because we can base actions and decisions on our emotions. We can let our emotions dictate our actions. And in that sense, our emotions can cause chaos and destruction in our lives. But you see, there's a big disparity there. There's a big problem there that lies there, because if you are experiencing emotions and they are honest and true, but if the result of those emotions is chaos, often, I expect, I mean, you didn't say that, but I'm kind of inferring correctly. Okay. Because that's how it was for me. That's why I can infer. It's we as people are very, very similar. We're a lot more similar than we think. My emotional state caused a lot of problems for me in my past. Anger, mainly. Uncontrolled anger.
That's a big one.
Okay, now the problem comes in where we struggle to cope with our life is when we try to fight our emotions. Does that ring true for you?
Yep.
Because you see, if we get the idea, people don't necessarily have to mean it like that, but we get the idea that my emotional state, whatever it is, whether it's anger or depression or up and down moods, my emotional state is somehow wrong. That's the message we keep getting from the world. And if my emotional state is wrong, I'm wrong. Then, if I'm wrong, then what I am is apparently wrong.
Yeah.
And if what I am is apparently wrong, then everything I do ends up being wrong. Meanwhile, I'm looking for love. Because we all do.
Yeah.
And the more we look for love and acceptance, the more we just end up being freaking wrong. Again. And that's a pretty shitty deal, I think.
Yeah, no, it's not the most fun.
And that's generally what we want to run from when we go into substances and other vices. It's usually we want to run from something that it's impossible to run from, really.
Yeah.
Because when the high lifts or whatever we ran to goes away, we have to come back and face that reality that's quite unbearable, to be honest. I'm just speaking from my experience. We're not even with you yet.
Yeah, you are on it.
Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah. So in what ways have you tried to make your life bearable after having said what we just said, trying to, yeah.
So what you're asking is, what are some of the vices I've had? Some of like the problems.
What makes life livable for you, considering the structure that you're working in with these fluctuating emotions that end up being wrong, which makes you wrong, which makes whatever you do wrong. Meanwhile, we're all just looking for love. How do you cope with that?
The horses definitely help me regulate a little.
Okay.
But even then, sometimes I need to convince myself to go and have a sit down in the field and actually just sit there and, take 20 minutes, take 30 minutes, take half an hour, but, actually regulate all the emotions that I'm going through.
Okay, so that sounds quite healthy already. So you give yourself the freedom and the opportunity to say, I'm allowed to remove myself from the situation and go and just settle. That's great. I think that's great.
Yeah, the thought process is good. The way I do it's not really good.
So how does that look?
Normally it's I make the decision on an extreme buildup of emotions already, and I explode. And then I disappear from the situation. I'll say, I'll be back. Just leave me alone.
And that's where the relationships suffer.
Yeah.
Because people don't take well to that.
No one really likes it when I just get up and leave.
No, well, it's abrupt, people, we are not socialized that way.
Yeah.
All right. What I want to present to you is the possibility of making all the wrongness that we now spoke about. The wrongness of the fluctuating emotions, the wrongness of the actual emotions, the wrongness of what you do to make yourself cope with it, the wrongness of you as diagnosed with this and that. It's a lot of wrongness that you have to carry. And it looks like the kind of wrongness that one can't just ignore because you're living the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So the only way we can let go of that wrongness that's so heavy to carry is what?
Well, God.
Okay.
So it's been helping me quite a lot with
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm talking more like I'm presenting you with this. Does God accept us as we are?
that. 100% he does.
You see, that's how God helps. Yeah.
Mm.
But the world makes it wrong. And it makes
No.
what we are, it wants to make what we are wrong. And the problem comes in when we buy into that story.
Mm.
And from a very early age, we end up believing that we are wrong.
Yeah.
And then we start presenting with behaviors that reinforce that idea in other people that it's the problem child. And that kind of thing. So I want to present an option that says what we are and how we are is never wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, people might not like how we are and what we are, but that doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
The problem comes in when we reject ourselves because of that. Because what I've found in my life is the more I could love and accept myself, the more I see other people loving and accepting me.
Yeah.
But you see how this path that we're on diverges. The more we try to please other people and be better, the less we get it right, and the more rejection we get. Or am I off the path?
No, you're pretty much in the smack bang in the middle of the highway there on that one.
Okay. So if I ask you the question, what do you want? Just not in terms of physical things. What do you want for yourself?
Just a little bit more peace.
Mm.
I completely agree with what you say. We need to accept ourselves, and what other people say doesn't actually matter. It is still, the way the world makes a person feel about it does get tough. People not necessarily willing to hear me out and understand the situation a bit better either. I can only make it make so much sense for myself. I struggle to make it make sense for someone else.
Mm.
Yeah, just a bit of peace. I think that would take me miles.
And I hear you saying a little bit of peace. Is that all you want, is a little bit of peace?
Well, right now, yes.
Why not complete peace?
I'm just thankful if I can get a little bit.
Okay, all right. So all this emotional up and downness, it started very early in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the judgments that rode upon those diagnoses and problem child labels, that's been coming a long way. So in a sense, what happens is that becomes part of our story.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story of Josh, the problem child.
Yeah.
And because of that story, our assessment of our own value suffers. Because our own assessment of our value diminishes to some degree. Because everyone else is diminishing us, what we are. Because it's somehow wrong.
No.
You see, and then what do you want? You say a little bit of peace. And it's not wrong that you say that. I just say, I want complete peace.
That does sound a lot more fun.
It sounds more fun. How does it feel inside you when I say, or when you say, I want complete peace? Is that even true? Could it be true?
Yeah, it could be true.
Can it be true now?
It could be true now, yes.
Okay. But you see, it seems a little bit far away. So I want to present with you that you are giving the key to why your story must continue. Your story of Josh is not good enough. Or what is your story called? I'm just calling it that.
What's my story called? Like the newer part of the story or the older story?
Give me all of it. The old and the new.
I don't know. I actually never thought about the story name. But we can go with Joshua the problem child.
Josh,
there were lots of problems.
And does that story continue to this day?
Nowhere near as much.
Not as much. Okay.
Right. Not as much, but there's still definitely a lot of things that have latched itself on.
So the story wants to continue. The story
wants to keep itself going. Yes.
There we go. Days of our lives. That kind of the Seven Alarm. That kind of just a new season, different place. Still the same story wants to continue. Now, our stories run us. We don't run our stories. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And what I'm presenting is that if we reconceptualize ourselves, then we can stop being ran by the story. Not as an effort, but as just a reassessment or a re-evaluation or a different awareness of how we see the story and what we see beyond the story. Because what I sense has kind of happened up to now, which happens to all of us at some point, is we kind of become our story to a large extent. Like Josh and Josh's story become inseparable, because wherever Josh goes, the story goes with him.
Yeah.
And it's quite a task to change that, to separate yourself from the story, and we're going to get there. So we said emotions are not right or wrong, judgment based, but they can have quite a lot of negative side effects, and which then those negative side effects of the emotions, that's fine, they feed back into the story. Because every negative thing that happens feeds back into the story and it reinforces that story. But now we can't get rid of the emotions because they just come by themselves. All right? And I want to present to you that we should stop trying. Have you ever thought of that?
No.
Okay, because everyone just expects you must be better.
Yeah.
But emotions just come. And they are the ones that mess up your story, your life, that have negative consequences in your life. Yet we said they're true and they just come. Yet life expects of you to get rid of them or overcome them or make them different. It's a bit of a double bind.
Yeah.
That I cannot realistically expect anybody to do what is expected of you. And eventually what happens is it's expected, but we can't do it. So we fail every day. We fail the expectation of others every day. And what also happens is we start accepting their expectations as legitimate. It's like everyone says, I'm not right. So I am obviously not right. So I should be better, be different.
Yeah.
And that's not really possible, because the more we fight what is, the more it persists. The more I fight let's say for me it was anger, the more I fight my anger, the more I fall just back into the same thing. And every time I feel guilty about it, I feel shame about it. And then it just happens again. And the harder I try, and then every time I fall, all that guilt and shame comes up again. So it becomes a never-ending loop. My suggestion is that the only way to escape of that negative cycle is to stop making the emotions wrong. There's some logic to this madness. I'm getting there. All right? Because if I don't make the emotions wrong, it means I'm making them right, and they've got negative side effects. So I'm saying that's right. But what happens is if we stop making them wrong and we stop fighting them, and we can just settle down for a sec, we can actually gain a different awareness of ourselves. Okay? Regardless of what's going on. Okay, I'm losing you a little bit.
No, sorry.
No. So what I mean by ourselves is if I say I am ADHD, I am bipolar, I am male, those are all aspects of our personality, of who we became. And that's called the ego. That's called the thing that's there to protect you in this world.
Yeah.
And what I present to you is that I am, with nothing following it, is the what of what we are. The who of what we are, the who we are, the personality is I am Josh. I am a problem child. I am a victim of my emotions. I am struggling in this world. I am that becomes the story. That becomes the who we are.
Yeah.
And all of that goes under the name Josh. That's who we become. Okay. So if we stop looking at ourselves only as who we are, and we start going more into the God zone, and we say, how does God see us? I present that God sees the what we are.
Yeah.
First. The rest doesn't matter that much. Because that can change, it can come and go. Even this body is part of the who we are, not the what we are.
No.
So the what we are is spirit, and it's forever. And the what we are is never wrong. That's the main thing I want to get to. So we want to feel that we're not wrong. Because in the who we are, we end up just being wrong. And the harder we try, the more wrong we are.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm talking a lot.
No, I'm actually listening.
Yeah. So if I do this, so if I make two circles, and the inside circle I call I am. Okay, that is the what you are. And God also says I am. So the what you are and the what God is very much the same thing. That's my awareness. I'm not saying what you should believe, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just illustrating something to you. And all of the rest of it is who. Yeah? That's all the pain and all the disappointment and all the broken relationships and all the anger outbursts and all the addiction stuff, and it's the whole mess of it. All has to do with the who we became. But we came into this world as I am.
Yeah.
Before all of this happened, before the labels happened and all the diagnoses happened. So what I really want us to look at is to a way that we could settle back down into I am.
No.
And then if the negative aspects of ourselves, the who we are, come up, to not reject them and fight them, as we've been doing.
Yeah. So that sounds scary.
It's a bit scary, eh? Because it's not the norm. It's not what you're used to.
No, that sounds very different.
Different, yeah. But in a way, does it sound maybe also that there could be a bit of peace there?
Maybe.
Because outside of what you need to be, so that's who you became, right? All of this. But this is what people want you to be. Okay? What you think people want you to be. Right? So that's who you became, and that's what you are. Now you try to become what people want you to be from who you became. That never works.
No.
Because people are never satisfied. Because our efforts are just never enough. The only one who's ever satisfied with us is God. And the only one that could ever be satisfied with us here is ourselves. Truly. And what I want to present with you is something so special that came to me in my struggles with the same stuff, with exactly the same stuff. I've been called bipolar, by the way. You met me.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that in brackets and say, I don't buy into all these diagnoses so much, right? Because I'm sure I didn't look like bipolar to you.
No.
But I have looked like bipolar to people before. Okay?
Yeah.
And that is how what I present to you is, if we can settle back down into into what we are. Now, this sounds all very airy-fairy, but I'm trying to make it tangible for you, okay? Is by accepting the parts of ourselves that we hate. And if we stop fighting those parts of ourselves, let's just take the emotional roller coaster part. I'm sure that's not one of your favorite parts of you.
No.
Okay. But if we can, there might be others as well that you can discover and look at, okay? But if we take one part, for me it was being a loser. That's what it was like for me. I felt like a loser. And the moment I took that feeling that Tias is a loser, and I said, I'm not going to fight you by hustling more, by trying harder, because the harder I tried was because I didn't want to feel this feeling of being a loser. And I said to myself, okay, one night I sat and I said, I'm taking this feeling that I'm a loser and I'm not chasing it away. I'm not running away from it. I'm not fighting it. I'm looking at it and I'm loving it. I'm going to love this feeling that I'm a loser in the way that I wanted my parents to love me. So that's the practical thing I want to present you with, is if you can take, Josh is not emotionally regulated. Take that. Josh is ADHD. Josh is bipolar. Take that. Each one by its own, by itself. In your own time, or now. And you can also go into the feeling of the first time that you heard you were a problem. Way, way back.
Sure, I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah. We can even do it now. I think it's probably a good idea to do it.
I can't remember the first time I was the problem.
Close your eyes for a second and just sit with that. And if there's silence, it's fine. Just let it come to you if it wants to, and it doesn't have to.
And the main thing that comes up to my mind is just the words a grade 4 teacher said to me.
Yeah.
You will never become anything.
Okay. And why did he say that, you think? What made him say that?
If I'm not wrong, I broke a couple pencils and started drawing with them.
So your behavior, whatever behavior was unacceptable.
There was definitely some behavioral issues there.
Yeah. So you see, that was a diminishing, what do they call, a prophecy. It was actually a prophecy over your life. A diminishing prophecy. So does I am need to become anything?
I'm not understanding.
Hey?
I didn't understand now.
Okay, if I say the what I am, my true being, my eternal being. So this teacher said, you'll never become anything. But my eternal being, does that have to become something?
No, that's what my eternal being. This needs to be my eternal being.
That doesn't have to become anything.
This needs to be who it is.
It is what it is. It doesn't need to be who it is.
No.
It is what it is. And that is the essence of my being. That is also the essence of your being. But you see how the ego takes a story like that of you'll never become anything, and then we buy into that story to some degree, and then by that story we diminish ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves not enough. And then we start behaving in ways that will reinforce that story. And then eventually it looks like we will never escape it, because it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. The story runs itself, and the story ends up running us. And what I'm presenting is all I'm presenting is one thing today, not complicated, is to remove our perspective from all of this who we became, remove our perspective from where all of this becomes fuzzy and it doesn't matter anymore, to where we can get an awareness of the what we are. Because as I was saying years ago, it came to me, from true being flows true action bearing true fruits. It just came to me one day. And I've been looking at that my whole life now, and recently it's become very clear to me. I don't have to try that hard. I can just let it go. And I will still end up doing actions. So from true being flows true action bearing true fruits. So if I stop trying to be better for the world and the expectations of everyone, and I can literally just be myself, my actions will start changing. Because if now you say your actions are informed very much by your emotions, and then your actions will no longer be informed by your emotions, but we are not making the emotions wrong. Am I losing you? No, I'm not. Okay?
Like repeating it in my head so it can sit
Yes. And now we must start looking at how that looks in our lives. How would it look in a typical day where you are now? If you're no longer fighting let's just ask that simple question. If you were no longer fighting your emotions or trying for them to be different, what would a day look like?
I don't know. Probably boring.
There's something.
It would probably be so boring. It would be so...
That's it. But would that be good or bad? Boring.
I think boring can be good sometimes.
So what's happening, what I see is that we become so identified with our story that if someone presents for us a different story, it will appear extremely boring. Let's say somebody was drinking often, yeah? And someone presents that person with not drinking. They hate the idea. Because
it's like when someone offers them tea instead of coffee.
Yeah.
It's just wrong. It's so weird.
Because suddenly life will seem just so boring.
Yeah.
If I suddenly remove the struggle from your life, the I'm not good enough struggle, the I must work harder to be better, if I remove that, what would your life look like?
Sorry, just repeat that again.
If I miraculously removed your struggle from you, the struggle of I need to be better, what would your life actually look like?
I have no idea.
I think it might be a bit boring.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a large part of your life and your world is taken up by you need to be better. Instead of you just need to be. Not better, not worse, just be. Would that be okay for you? Would that be acceptable for you to not need to be better?
To a degree.
Again, a little bit of peace to a degree, okay?
Yeah, to a degree. I strongly believe that it's a good thing to be able to push yourself to be better than what you were yesterday.
Okay. There is some value in that. There is some value in working on yourself. But what happens if you have an emotional meltdown? You've been working on yourself so much, but then you have an emotional meltdown, and people
Then we normally go back to the very beginning and start over.
And how many times have you done that?
All in one now. Tomorrow we'll be doing it for 23 years.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
And isn't that tiring to keep having to start over, work on yourself, be better, and then back to square one? So this cycle of having to work on yourself, be better, overcome these emotional ups and downs, overcome these diagnoses, overcome the judgments, overcome the badness and the wrongness of Josh, doesn't that become something that wears you down over time?
It'd be nice to not worry about those things.
I'm saying it's possible.
No.
Okay, so let's diverge a bit. What did discipline look like when you were young, when you were a child? In the house?
My mom would go quiet if I was naughty. My dad would tell me politely to go wait in the bathroom like Snowdog.
Oh, okay. So there was a bit of...
Yeah.
All right. And if I say the word rejection, did you ever experience rejection there as a child?
Not from my parents, no.
Not from your parents. From who then?
Well, woman.
Hey?
Girlfriends.
Okay. So...
Yeah, maybe while I was younger, it felt like I was rejected. But now that I'm a bit older and I start understanding a bit better, it's like, okay, thanks, guys. You actually did love me. Yeah.
And to what degree do you accept yourself?
I am who I am. There are things of me that I still want to change, if I can put it like that. There are things that I'm not happy with, and every day that's what we aim to get better at. But otherwise, I have accepted who I am, just not everything about me.
Okay.
Like, I know it's there.
Yeah.
I just know I need to be better.
You see, that's where I feel the essence is. You just said it.
Yeah.
And that feels to me like a story that's been following you throughout your life.
No, for sure. I think that started from young, just playing sports. I had to be the best.
Who said?
Me.
You said. Okay.
I said
you see, you are reflecting back to me what I gave to you early in the session.
Yeah.
Let's look at that. I see Josh is not good enough. Josh, not me. I mean, the world says Josh is not good enough. Josh is not good enough. Then I see at some point, Josh gets some diagnoses that he says, okay, now I've got a license to not be good enough. And then Josh buys into that story of Josh is not good enough. Now Josh is on the path of self-work, working on himself, self-improvement. Yeah? Now Josh incorporates God into the story. Go with me. You can make me wrong just now, but go with me for now. To make that story true of Josh is not good enough, because now God's going to help you help yourself be better. Whereas God says, period. Josh says about you. God says about you. Josh is. Period. Not Josh is, he needs to work on himself more. Josh needs to be better. How does that sit with you?
I don't know.
Does it seem a bit strange to think like that?
No.
No.
It doesn't feel strange to think like that. I just don't know how to feel about it.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Do you agree with my story that I bring you? Or not? You don't have to.
I think the only thing that I don't know if I misunderstood it, but it's just the part where now I bring God into my life.
Okay.
To make it more right. No. I think
is that not what it looks like?
Bringing God into my life, it was to restart.
To restart, okay.
Old problems have like found its way back.
Yeah.
But now we kind of, nip them at the bud as soon as that problem comes up. Well, at least we try. At least we try to solve the problem as it comes.
Okay, but you see, here we go again. You and God, you try.
Now I try. God knows.
But does God not help you try?
Yeah.
Not.
I don't know.
No, I'm using your words.
No, I don't know if God helps me try.
Okay, all right. I'm asking, yeah. So I presented you, maybe you're bringing God in to help you try to be better. So that's not right. It's not true. No.
Okay, now we've confused me.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe that's how we get, maybe through confusion is how we get to something that makes sense. But I'm still going somewhere, but I want us to plow through it. So let's rephrase it as a question again. What does God do for you? Let's go like that. In your situation. Answers, okay? Answers. Okay. And what do those answers look like in your reality? What do they help you do?
I think the best answer I got for that is slow down a little.
Okay.
Knowing you're enough.
Knowing you're enough.
Knowing you're enough. No.
There we. Not that. What did you say?
The answers helps me slow down. Not enough.
Oh, not enough. Not enough. Okay. Yeah. So I heard you wrong.
I still need to slow down a bit before I.
All right.
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, I understand. But so what God's doing for you and what I'm presenting is the same thing.
Okay.
So God, you said now God's helping you slow down, but not enough. You're not slowing down enough yet. That's what you said, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm suggesting, let me put it in green. I'm suggesting, let's see that's what people expect of you. This is who you became through all your pain and suffering in your world, in your life. This is what God helps you slow down to, back into. That's what I'm presenting with to you.
Okay, I'm with you now.
Do you now follow where I'm going?
I'm with you now, yes.
So slowing down is bringing my awareness back from who I became through pain. Let's just make it simple, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing my awareness back down from what other people in the world expects of this ADHD, bipolar, emotionally dysregulated problem person. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring my awareness back down through the layer of who I became to cope with all of this drama in my life and all of these judgments. Let me bring my awareness back all the way in to I am. Same as you said, God helps you to slow down. Does that work for you, that model?
Yeah.
That's what I'm driving at.
Okay.
All right. I wanted to do it in this slow, roundabout fashion so we can touch on all of these different bases to make sense for you so that it's yours. It's not my idea.
Yeah.
You see how we got there? I really want to leave you with something that's really not my idea for you, because everybody's had an idea for you up to now.
Yeah.
How does it feel to live your own life from I am? Not even your idea of your life, because that's a story. Your idea of your life is a story that you've been dragging with you. We need to let that go a little bit as well. And you slow right down with God's help. Not work harder to be better. You see what I'm juxtaposing here? I'm exchanging work harder and try harder and work harder on yourself so that you can be better for all these people's expectations, including your own. As opposed to little bit of peace. Can it be 10% more peace than a little bit?
That's a start.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, 10% more peace or 1% more peace than yesterday. With God's help, slowing right back down, not trying harder, the opposite of trying harder, you see? The opposite of rejecting those negative emotions. Accept them, hold them tight, hold them close, and love them like you wanted your parents to love you. And that becomes the practice that we practice. And it becomes a non-performative practice. And that's the beauty of it, really. Because the more we perform, the more there's an expectation and the more we can fail. So am I a good salesman for my model, or don't you buy it?
No, it's working for me.
Can you buy it?
I might have to get 100 shares, starting at 1%.
Okay, explain that to me.
No, I'm just making a joke.
No, but
100 shares is 100%.
Oh, okay. But you buy the concept.
Yes, no, I'm with you.
Does it feel like it's giving you something tangible to maybe take with you and look at? I don't want to say work on. You follow what I'm trying to get at? I don't want to leave you with something to work on.
I am works very well for me.
You see what I mean? The last thing I want to do is bring you another checklist of stuff you need to do to be acceptable. I don't want to do that. I want to, in fact, suggest that we take all of that off the table. All of that working on myself to be better. If we can do it as an exercise to just say, for the next day or the next week, like we try it out for size and we go, for the next week, Josh is not going to work on himself to be better because he is I am and I am is enough.
Yeah, we can do that.
You try that. And just bring your awareness down from all the people's expectations, including your own. Never forget that one. Your own is right up there as well, because to a large degree, you've accepted the story that you need to be better. And I feel that that's where you know the elephant that gets trained with a little rope that holds it, and when it's a big elephant, it can easily break it, but it doesn't know it. I feel that your story has become your elephant string.
Yeah.
And I'm presenting to you the very real possibility, of breathing out and saying, I'm letting that story go. I'm not fighting it. Very important. I'm not fighting it. I'm just breathing it out and let it go. Let the old story go. As you said, God comes you to start again. But let's not say start again as work harder, try harder to be better. Let's leave that story. God is here to show me the way back to I am. No story. No performance. I sound like AI.
That sounded like scripture.
Yeah. So if we breathe out, we let go of the story, we let go of the performance expectations, we let go of other people's expectations, and we just let God show us the way back to I am. And then from true being flows true action by itself. Like a tree doesn't have to try to be a tree. A horse A horse does not need to try to be a horse. Every day now that you work with the horses, you can take this model. Let the horse, every time you see a horse, you be reminded of this model. How a horse is also a reflection of its creator.
Yeah.
And a horse does not need to try to be better. It is what it is. If you look at that Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Baldwin is still what he is.
Baldwin is doing really well.
But you see what I mean? Baldwin did not become something else. He just stopped fighting.
Yeah.
And the same is possible for you. And all the assistance you need in your life is there for you. Always. The place where you are at is a huge amount of assistance for you. And,
yeah, for sure.
And I congratulate you. You are making the best of it.
I'm trying.
You are. But let's replace trying. You see how it's coming up in your language, and I'm not judging you. I'm helping you to point out the old story. Because the old story is all about trying harder to be better, to be good enough, and it's never getting there.
Now when you told me, when you called me out for using the word trying, it reminded me of the exercise Devil did the other day with us. He put a halter, or it was a stick, on the floor. It was like, Anushka, try and pick this up. And she picked it up. Like, no, but I told you to try. We don't try.
Oh,
we do.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. So every time you see a horse, be reminded that what you are, the I am, is good enough. Always. And settle yourself in there. And see, observe. Don't try to action from there. Observe how true actions flow from there. And whenever your actions bring you trouble, you can look and see that I didn't act from what I am. Not as a judgment against you, just as a reminder. God helps me. I bring my awareness back into I am. And let it settle there and breathe there. And from there, you will see, you will do the next right thing.
Yeah.
Not the next right thing in other people's eyes, the next right thing because it's true. Because it comes from a place of truth. But it is also it's not working to be better, but life is a process. Okay? Life is a journey. And we can breathe and say it's okay. It's okay. We're all I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey. I'm not through the journey. I'm on a journey. You and I are no different. We are both just on our own journey. And that's okay. You know? That's totally okay. But that's what I've got for you today.
Sure, no, it works for me.